Hi, I'm Giselle from France. Do you want to always be walking on air? Subscribe to the Private Diary channel then. You'll never feel lonely while watching its stories. By the way, detectives, we hit bunnies in this video again. Tell us in the comments down below how many of them you managed to find. Let's see who's our most attentive subscriber. Well, let's go back to my story. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My mom owned the Golden Oyster restaurant chain. They were pretentious establishments for the rich and powerful. Mom was a businesswoman and went on business trips all the time. She was extremely proud of being a self-made woman. My dad died when I was just a baby. Giselle, why are you embarrassing me again? Oops. Mom was mad at me for putting glitter in the city fountain. I was quite a troublemaker. I loved pranking people, filming their reactions, and posting those videos online.
You're ruining my perfect reputation with your antics. What are people going to think of me?
Mom was afraid of losing her status, so she scolded me all the time. I wasn't going to change though. Why would I? My life was perfect as it is. I went to an exclusive school, had a lot of fun pranking people, and knew that one day I would inherit my mother's business empire. Fate must have decided to teach me a lesson for being too carefree. Well, I don't want to spoil anything. Just keep watching and you'll find out what happened. One day, Mom started arguing with someone on the phone all the time. She seemed tense and worried. Soon after that, things in our house started to disappear. I could have sworn an expensive painting used to hang on this wall. I went to my mom's study to ask her about the painting, but she just yelled at me for distracting her from important negotiations. Oh, whatever. That pissed me off, and I decided to go shopping to cheer myself up. I left the house and almost ran into our neighbor, Monsieur Arnaud. The day before, I had pranked him by pouring washing powder into his pool. It had looked like he was having a foam party. Monsieur Arnaud had gone ballistic, so I didn't want him to see me. I sneaked past him and was on my way. To my surprise, a lot of inexpensive diners had opened next to Mom's biggest restaurant. Is Mom so anxious because of competitors? I walked into a mall and found a bunch of stuff I wanted to buy. However, I couldn't pay for them because the guy at the checkout said my card was blocked. That was weird. I asked him to put my purchases on hold and went home to get some cash. However, I was in for an unpleasant surprise. Our safe was empty. Have we been robbed? I panicked and was about to call the police, but then my mom admitted we were broke. She looked grim. My business has not been profitable for a long time now because of the new competitors, so I sold all my restaurants to our neighbor, Monsieur Arnaud. Even still, we're up to our ears in debt. I felt faint. Were we poor now? It felt like the end of the world. Mom did not give up and said that if we acted as a team, we would be able to become rich again. I know everything there is to know about business, so I'm going to sell courses. And you are going to work as a waitress in one of my former restaurants. I couldn't believe it. Did she really expect me to wait on tables for peanuts? Not for the world. However, Mom didn't back down. There is nothing shameful about it. I started out as a waitress. I worked tirelessly and saved up until I owned my own restaurant. If you don't want us to lose our home, you'll have to do it. Arguing was useless, so I agreed. It was a nightmare. The next day, I came to the Golden Oyster restaurant after school. Its manager, a pompous guy named Paul, handed me an ugly uniform. Don't you have anything more stylish?
Oh, of course, Your Majesty. We have a haute couture uniform just for you. Change your clothes and quit whining.
The nerve of him. None of the staff knew I was the daughter of the former owner of the restaurant, so I got no special treatment. I put on my uniform and came out to the guests. Then I saw a photograph of an aristocratic old woman by the door. She had apparently been banned from the restaurant for life. She looked like she couldn't hurt a fly. What could she possibly have done?
The previous owner of the restaurant banned her herself.
Now that was interesting. I decided to ask my mom about the old lady. Soon, the first guest walked into the restaurant. It was an ordinary couple with kids. To my surprise, Paul arrogantly said the restaurant had a strict dress code and rudely chased them away.
Our restaurant is only for the rich and refined. Giselle.
Yes, Captain?
Stop lazing around and get to work.
He made me wait on some haughty ladies. I didn't know anything about being a waiter, so I just tried to act friendly. Those hyenas treated me like I was their servant. I got mad and blew up on them. The manager was furious.
Giselle, these lovely ladies said you spilled sauce on their table. Is that true?
So what? They said the meat was too dry.
One more stunt like that and you're fired.
Oh no, I was shaking in my boots. I didn't get along with the rest of the staff either. It was my own fault. To be honest, I was a bit insufferable.
Hey, new girl, are you hungry? Let's eat lunch together.
Are those hot dogs? It smells like canned cat food. The waiters and cooks couldn't stand me, especially Leon. He loved to correct me and got mad each time he saw me slacking.
Giselle, why don't you get off the chair and help me wait on tables for a change?
What are you, my boss?
Have you never worked with a team before?
Okay, I'm coming. Quit grumbling. Yeah, it was a hellish week. I always came home exhausted. Soon, I finally had a day off though, and finally found the time to ask my mom about the old lady banned from the restaurant. Oh, that's Bertha. She's a con artist. If you ever see her, run as fast as you can. She might look harmless, but she spent many years in prison for her crimes. Wow, thanks for the warning. By the way, why are you at home? I thought you wanted to teach people how to run a business. She muttered something unintelligible and hid in the bathroom. Was Mom hiding something from me? Everyone at work hated me. Of course, that meant I always did the dirtiest work. One day, I was helping Paul when one of the guests pointed at me and started laughing. Pinch me! Giselle is working as a waitress! Oh, this is the best day of my life! I stared at the girl and was about to ask her how she knew my name, but then I remembered her. It was Martha! We used to be enemies when we were kids. Her mother worked for us as a maid. One day, Martha tried to steal my dress, so I came to Martha's school and told everyone she was a thief. She lost all friends after that. How the tables have turned. My family got rich and yours went bankrupt. I'm so happy for you. Now get out. I have work to do. Ha, no. I'm going to come here every day from now on. This is karma, Giselle. Ugh, great. That was the last thing I needed. Martha kept her word. She came to the restaurant every day and drove me crazy. Waitress, carry the tray with my food on your head. Don't forget about dessert. Ugh, dessert? I would make her regret asking for it. I was tired of putting up with her, so I spilled her food on her dress. Oh, I'm such a klutz. I'm so not sorry. Of course she got mad and complained to the manager. Paul turned red as a tomato and yelled at me in front of everyone. How could you be so stupid? I'm taking away your bonus. It was so unfair. Feeling like a total loser, I ran into the back room and burst into tears. I hate this place. Then the door opened and I saw Leon. He sat down next to me and handed me a handkerchief. Did you come to laugh at me? Actually, I just wanted to cheer you up. He admitted that he was fed up with the whims of the rich guests too. He believed that the previous owner of the restaurant had made the prices too high, and as a result, ordinary people could not afford to eat at the Golden Oyster. So there had been fewer and fewer visitors by the day. I have some ideas how to turn this dreary restaurant into a fun place. We'd need to lower prices though, do away with the dress code, and add pancakes to the menu. The waiters could also deliver food on hoverboards. Wow, it sounds great. You should tell that to the manager. I tried. But Paul and the owner of the restaurant just laughed at me. All rich people are the same. I felt awkward. After all, my mother was the previous owner of the restaurant. Still, I decided not to tell Leon my secret. We weren't that close. Giselle, you seem like an alright girl. Stop acting like a spoiled princess and respect others. Working will be much easier then. He opened my eyes. I realized that I was to blame for all my troubles and decided to change. Leon taught me how to be a good waitress, and the guests started leaving me much bigger tips. It was awesome. Leon also helped me become part of the team. I apologized to everyone for my rude behavior and started joining them for lunch. After that, whenever the manager unfairly punished me or made me do the dirty work, my new friends always came to the rescue. After the hard shifts, Leon and I like to sit on the curb and eat hot dogs. Delicious food and good company. What more could I wish for? Giselle, I think I like you. What? I said you're totally right. I was really proud of myself when I finally got my first salary. It felt amazing to earn money. Unfortunately, the restaurant wasn't doing great. Something had to be changed. So I wrote down Leon's ideas and talked to the new owner of the Golden Oyster, Monsieur Arnaud. I apologized for the pool incident and showed him the plan for improving the restaurant. But the man just stared at me, confused. What are you talking about? I would have never bought your restaurants. Your mother doesn't know anything about business. I met her at business conferences. She just sat there trying to look smart and pretending to be a great restaurateur. What? Who was the new owner of the Golden Oyster then? And why had my mom owned a chain of restaurants if she didn't know how to manage a business? I had so many questions and went to my mom to get answers. It's time for you to learn the truth. We didn't actually have any money problems. I just wanted you to understand how hard it was for me to go from being a waitress to becoming the owner of the Golden Oyster. So, now that you've realized that, stop ruining my reputation. Mom even told the manager she sold the restaurant so that I wouldn't find out the truth by accident. She taught me a cruel lesson. I probably needed it though. After all, I learned to value honest work and became a better person. I also met a cool guy and almost fell in love with him. So I kept working and didn't tell anyone that I was the daughter of the restaurant's owner. However, the Golden Oyster was making less and less money by the day. I told my mom about Leon's ideas. The Golden Oyster will no longer be a gourmet restaurant, but we will still have a lot of guests. Mom crumpled the piece of paper I handed her and arrogantly declared that she was smarter and knew how to run a business better than us. I got so mad I ran to the restaurant and tore the photo of that old lady off the wall. Everyone's going to be welcome here then, even criminals. Then, one evening, Martha showed up at the restaurant again. When would she get tired of tormenting me? I didn't want to talk to her, so I went outside and started to clean the signboard. That's when I saw Bertha, the aristocratic old lady. She was walking down the street with her head held high. I came up to her and politely invited her to the Golden Oyster, despite my mother. The woman seemed surprised, but quickly agreed. Once inside, she sat down at a table and looked around with disgust. It's been years since I last came here, but this place hasn't changed at all. Soon, the old lady got to eating. Her manners were too refined for a dangerous criminal. Then, Martha noticed me and called my name. I instantly felt annoyed but tried not to blow up. If I don't like the service tonight, I will ask manager to fire you. With those words, she swiped the food off her table and told me to clean it up. While I was crawling on the floor and picking up the cutlery, Martha filmed me on the phone and laughed nastily. I'll show this video to everyone at your school. All your friends will turn their backs on you. Ha ha. That was it. I'd had it with her. I stood up and confidently declared that I was still rich and my mom still owned the restaurant. So from now on, you are banned from here. Get lost and don't come here again. There was silence and everyone stared at me, dumbfounded. Leon shook his head, disappointed. Why haven't you told us the restaurant belongs to you? I feel like a fool. He said he was quitting, tore off the apron, and left. I wanted to run after him, but old Bertha stopped me. If you're the owner's daughter, then you must be Giselle. My son was your dad. That was insane! It turned out that Bertha was my grandmother. I hadn't even known I had a grandmother. I had so many questions. But first, I asked her if she really was a criminal. What? Nonsense! I just didn't approve of your mother. She and I have always been at odds. When she became the owner of the restaurant, she immediately banned me. Grandma told me that my mom had only worked as a waitress for 2 weeks. After that, my dad, who owned the restaurant at the time, fell for and married her. After his death, Mom got his business. She hadn't achieved everything by working hard. That was a lie. She had simply got lucky. Can you believe it? I ran home and confronted Mom. She tearfully admitted that Grandma had told me the truth. But we have bigger problems now, sweetie. My business has stopped making profit because of the competitors. Now we are broke. I will have to sell the restaurants. She burst into tears, but I didn't feel sorry for her. I warned her something should have been changed. Now, I knew how to earn money and decided that I would work hard and save up to one day buy the Golden Oyster restaurant. After all, I love it with my whole heart. I worked hard, sparing no effort, while my mother did nothing but feel sorry for herself. Of course, I tried to make up with Leon, but he wanted nothing to do with me and ignored all my texts. When I had free time, I talked to my grandmother about my big plans, and the waiters will deliver food on hoverboards. That's very creative. Keep this up and you will succeed. Several months went by. I was standing in front of the restaurant and counting the money. Let's see. I managed to earn $100. All I needed was about 10 million more, and the restaurant would be mine. Oh, who was I kidding? That would never happen. Then, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around and saw my grandmother. She was holding a large bag. Sweetheart, I've seen how hard you work. You reminded me of your father. I have a gift for you. Let's buy the restaurant. She opened the bag. There was a ton of cash inside. OMG! I burst into tears of joy and hugged Grandma. After that, her driver drove us to Leon's house. When Leon opened the door, I apologized for hiding the truth from him. I was afraid of losing you. Let's start over and bring your ideas to life. Do you have any idea how much money we need for that? About this much? I showed him the bag of money and said that I was appointing Leon as the new manager. After making up, we spent a long while turning the pretentious restaurant into a fun diner for everyone. It was worth it. After the opening, we had no end of guests. Wow, their plates are made of pancakes, and you can eat them. Mom found out the restaurant was making money again and asked me to give her some, but I just smiled and handed her an apron. Didn't you start out as a waitress? If you want money, earn it. Someone had to teach her that lesson. One evening, Leon and I went on a date and ran into Martha. She was handing out flyers. It turned out her family had never been rich. Martha spent all the money she earned to act like she was a millionaire. I even felt sorry for her. Come on, laugh it up. But I decided to be a better person, so I calmly smiled and walked past her. I proudly put the first dollar I earned in a frame to remind myself how important it is to do what you love and love what you do. Don't forget to subscribe and tell me in the comments down below how many bunnies you spotted.